In the digital era, new variations have appeared involving rideshare apps and GPS anomalies. For example, accounts of passengers booking rides on Uber or Lyft who vanish mid-route, or navigation systems leading drivers to phantom destinations.
That's just probably shit engineering.
Yeah,
Yeah, because that's a bug somewhere who didn't test it. Like,
hello, welcome to Believe. It's a Halloween special.
It's a Halloween special. I love a Halloween special. Woo!
You do it your favorite time of year?
It really, really is. The weather is just right. The leaves are falling and everything's like spooky, and you get to watch horror.
Yes, you've been out trick or treating.
I have, but I just do that generally.
Yes,
anyway,
that's true. And the authorities have told you to stop.
Yes.
And yet you persist.
And yet I persist.
I'm Phil Green.
I'm David Ferguson.
And this is a podcast all about the world's craziest myths, mysteries, and conspiracy theories. In each episode, we bring on a guest. That guest has picked a myth, mystery, or conspiracy they want to talk about. And then we find facts and figures from the internet, and we try to prove it, debunk it, or neither, because we don't know anything, do we?
No, we know nothing.
Yes, we know absolutely nothing. However, this is an exciting one because we love talking about spooky stuff.
Oh, spooky.
Yes.
Like as in Fox Mulder.
Who's Mulder and who'd be Scully? No, we know that anyway.
You're definitely Scully.
Yeah, I'm definitely Scully.
Yeah. I mean, you
I got the dresses for it.
You definitely do. You've got the legs for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks. If you enjoy this podcast, please give us a little 5-star review, whether it's Spotify, Apple, wherever you get your podcasts. It just helps us a little bit. And we need that help, don't we?
We do. We clearly need help.
Yes, we need help, but we also need a little bit of a boost. So if you could please give us a little review, we will love you forever. Now, you took George out of his coffin?
Coffin. Like I think he's more lycanthropic
Then he is vampirical.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Because
more of a werewolf than a vampire.
Yes. I think that's.
He's hairy, isn't he?
He's very.
Yeah.
He's all furry.
He's a furry boy.
He's a furry boy.
Oh. He's very excited about this one. And who is today's fantastic guest?
The wonderful Joshua Bethania.
Yes, he is absolutely wonderful. Joshua is a fantastic Indian comedian, now living in London. He is the winner of So You Think You're Funny, also a King Gong winner at the Comedy Store, the Hackney Empire New Act of the Year finalist. He's been on the BBC New Comedy Awards, the Chortle Comedy Awards, and he can be seen at comedy clubs all over the country.
He's marvellous.
He is fantastic. And what is the myth, mystery, or conspiracy for our Halloween special?
The vanishing hitchhiker phenomenon.
The vanishing hitchhiker phenomenon.
Do 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 do.
Phenomenon.
Do 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 do.
Phenomenon.
Do 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 do.
Let's bring on Joshua.
Get out of the rabbit hole.
It's a fake. Every single bird in the sky is a robot.
It's fiction.
Doubt your government.
It's an urban legend.
They're actually spraying something in the sky.
No way.
A stream of absurdity.
It's a total fabrication.
Welcome to the podcast, Joshua Bethania!
Hey. Thanks for having me.
That's all right. How are you, man?
I'm good. How are you guys doing?
Good.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
We're doing an afternoon recording because you've got to go to Nottingham tonight.
Yeah, it's looking forward to a whole bunch of Hindus, I suppose. I've never not seen a Hindu there, which is
Oh, really?
which is weird about that city. I don't know why. Have you guys been
Yeah.
much to Nottingham?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's always a Hindu.
I'm not just saying this because you've just brought it up. I many years ago was in a boy band, and we did a gig up Nottingham, and it was to Hindus.
Oh,
And so when you said there's so many Hindus, going, yes, I know, right? but the thing is, that was like well, I admit to being in my 30s, so that was like 20 years ago. So I was a teenager. I wasn't, but yeah, Hindus. Yeah, it's actual
I think it's
thing.
because it's like the Brighton of the Midlands. It's like people, it's because it's in the Midlands, people just go to it for their hendies and stag do's.
Nottingham, the Brighton to the Midlands.
That's the way to advertise your city. It's like this other city.
yeah.
We've got some character.
Well, they'll probably take it as a compliment.
So they know.
Well, Nottingham's nice.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
My dad lived in Nottingham for a while. It is like, it's got a castle. It's not a very good one, but it's got one.
It's a big uni town as well. Yeah, I suppose. Yeah.
2 massive unis.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you get students at those gigs?
No, not really. These gigs are like the older, like 40s, 50s crowd. It's like, so it sort of works in my favor. Like I'm quite old myself. Like I'm like 38. So it's like,
You look so much younger.
oh, thank you. It's every time I have a haircut, I look like I drop 10 years.
Oh, that's terrible.
And it's just being brown helps. Like, so it's usually the older crowd where I don't have to. They're fun, but they just like a laugh. I don't want to do big stories there. I just want quick jokes there.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah,
And we were talking before that you have started dropping Britishisms into your
Yeah. And that works so well. I didn't realize, and so I'm just happy to pick up if you guys have any Britishisms, and I'm just happy to.
Brits out? Is that a Britishism? No, sorry. Oh.
I was telling one example, like Jack Skipper once came, he's like, it'll be funny if you say I'm off my tits on stage.
It's funny when you just say it now.
Yeah. So anything I say like that is just gets a laugh, and like, oh, this guy knows this expression. I'm like, yeah.
I don't mind performing to hen do's. Stag do's I find much more challenging.
Yeah. Oh yeah. To be fair, yeah. Like I've never enjoyed the stag do's there because it's stag do's are like who's the best performer in that. It's like a male thing, right? Like where you're like when you heckle, it's like, oh, I'm funnier than this guy. I'm funnier than all of this. I need to make sure we are the center of attraction. And then
just hit on them. Just say the more if you move, I can see you. Like you're both straight.
Yeah. Or maybe I should just lean and try.
Do it anyway.
Try to and see. Oh no, that's a good tip. I'm gonna try that. Yeah.
Yeah, because the dominant alpha in a stag doesn't want anyone to be more dominant in the room, does he? So therefore the person on stage with the mic is more dominant just by virtue of being on stage with the mic. So
hit on them. That's interesting.
So stop flirting with me. I'll give you my number.
Actually, that would be quite funny with you.
I did hit on a woman who was just divorced that day. And it was nice. It was like she had a whole bit. She basically left her husband because she was cheated on. She was married for like 20 years or something. She's never really been with anyone else. And I was like, oh, have you ever been with an Indian man? And so it was so funny because they're like a completely different audience from your regular London audiences. Like I think that.
Do you think they're more fun?
Yeah, they're fun that way, but they can also like totally not be into your stuff quickly, where you try to be a bit clever, and I'm like, oh, I should not be a bit clever. I should just do the very basics, just get paid and leave,
Yeah, the last hen do that I did, I went in. I was like, "Great, I'm gonna give you my best stuff." And within 2 minutes, I was doing the most disgusting gay blowjob.
What's what they wanted.
That's exactly what. I mean, and it was. And the room had been really cold before that. Like I was the third person on. I saw someone who I love. I won't mention who they are, but I saw someone I love open, and they're good at opening, and they got nothing. And I was like, oh. Fuck.
But I think in those sort of rooms, it's hard to open because you haven't got, and maybe a bit from what the MC does with the crowd, but you haven't really got a sense of what they actually enjoy. So it's almost easier to be second, third, or closing. Just then you've got an idea of like what they're actually going for. But opening is a bit of a lottery.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is I was the hero.
Yeah.
You're saying
that's how we took it.
Yeah.
Actually, that's exactly
that's
how
what
we
I was
took
saying.
it. Yeah, exactly. So myths and mysteries and conspiracy theories. What do you think of them?
I've been slowly getting into them lately.
Good.
I think it's just the internet, you just look at one video and that's it. Your algorithm is like, and then you start, because you see it every day, it's slowly registering in the back of your head. And then you're like, okay, this is true. Because there is, what I've realized is like, there's a bit of an overlap with actual verified truth.
Yes.
And the way it's controlled. And then there are some people who push it a little further, but you don't know the difference between those two things. And it's like, oh, some of it is just capitalism, and the rest is they just take it one notch higher. And it's like, part of you wants to believe it, and it could be true.
Yeah.
Right. Like something like the Epstein Island thing is like, okay, this is a thing that happened.
Yeah.
And now everyone is like, oh yeah, that definitely happened. It's not a conspiracy.
That's it.
And
whereas if somebody had told you that 20 years ago, you probably wouldn't have believed it,
like an island of billionaires, like that's not a thing. That's not real.
David Icke was talking about this in the late 80s. Just saying.
But if you said to someone like, let's say in the mid 2000s, so before the first Epstein thing broke, there's an island owned by this guy, this rich financier who and Prince Andrew and Donald Trump and Bill Clinton all go there regularly to have sex with young girls, you'd go, nah, of course that doesn't happen. Of course that would be ridiculous.
Yeah. And then you read up on billionaires and like,
that
makes
happens.
sense.
Yeah, that happens.
These books were there.
Yeah.
If all the money in the world, you get bored really easily, so you just go for the next thing and the next thing. And the next thing.
Exactly.
You know.
Exactly. So this one, the vanishing hitchhiker phenomenon. You hitchhiked before? You were actually trying to hitchhike back tonight, weren't you?
Yeah. I'm going.
If anyone's driving back from Nottingham to London tonight,
Yeah.
Joshua needs a lift.
Yeah, it'll probably be better than going with a comic. I've heard of the concept. Like, I mean, like I don't. I used to hitchhike a bit when I was a bit younger, but like when I'd visit my aunt's place, which was a bit out of town, so it's quite common for people to like, oh, can you give me a lift? And because there's just one direction everyone goes in, so it's like, yeah, okay, cool. The people would just give a lift. My aunt used to do that, and she had some. It just came to my head now. Like she told me some weird stories, like very supernatural-ish.
Oh yeah.
But like nothing happened out of it. Like just people come
that she believed.
I think so to some extent, but it's not like she believed so much that she was making it an issue, telling people all about it. But she'd just tell the story as a matter of fact and move on.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this happened. Yeah, some of these things are probably real. But just move on.
And did you believe her?
Yeah, I was a kid, so I think it's mostly just bad lighting. Around, where you see someone and like suddenly they're not around, and it's like, oh, it's just they've vanished in the dark. It's just that you don't have enough line of sight to see that person. So.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I always wonder when older people tell you that stuff when you're a kid, whether they actually believe it or they're telling you that story to shit you up enough to not go and hitchhike, basically.
But it was like, it wasn't even like them telling me don't do this. They just told, because she used to do that. She used to work somewhere far off and she'd come back sometimes late, and it's like, oh, it was, I'm trying to remember what the story was. It's just one of those things where like some guy was standing there and then he asked for a lift and then they stopped and like he's disappeared. And it's just, one of those weird ones.
Yeah.
Well, that's a big phenomenon with the disappearing hitchhiker thing. That's the people being pulled over, and then they just disappear. Now, the sort of, I don't want to jump on things you're going to say, Phil, but the one of the things that happens with disappearing hitchhikers, it could also be someone trying to get you to get out of your car and look for them. It's like that. So there is that. But the for the longest time, that was one of the phenomena with disappearing hitchhikers. You would get pulled down. Oh, I've been here ages. Just give me a second. I'll put my bag in your boot or the back of your car. What's boot in the United States? Trunk. Put the trunk in your car. And because I know we've got US listeners, and they just disappear. Like literally, police reports have been done about that. I hope I'm not jumping on stuff you're going to say.
But there are variations to this.
Oh, right. Yeah. There's
loads
all different stages.
Yeah.
And
have you ever hitchhiked?
Yes, I have, and we were going to a music festival, and the bus stopped like 2 hours from where we needed to be. I was like, what do you do? And it was a coach going to the music festival. It was really bizarre, and we hitchhiked, but this was in rural, Ireland. So, we had worse troubles going on. Originally. So like,
it was the 80s.
It was the 80s. It was fine. Well, no, it was not the 80s. I was not.
But you were like a child in the 80s, like two or three.
Yeah,
Actually,
hitchhiking child would have been quite upset.
Yeah.
Well, the whole hitchhiking phenomenon was like a 70s thing, and it was like the real reason that it stopped hitchhiking proper, was because of serial killers.
Yeah.
That's why it all cut away. But hitchhiking used to absolutely be a thing.
They loved a serial killer in the 70s, didn't they?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Like
prime time.
If it wasn't the Manson family, it was the Zodiac killer. Zodiac, one of my absolute favorite films.
Yeah.
I love that.
I think in some countries it is still quite common, and I think it's quite like. Have you ever watched Race Across the World?
No.
No. Okay. So it's where they get like teams of people, and they kind of like have to travel across a certain distance, might be continent or a couple of continents, or they route
Like Phileas Fogg.
Not far off that. But they have a certain budget, and they have to get from here to here in X amount of days, right? But they hitchhike all the time in that. But they've got a camera crew with them, and probably a producer going, maybe not with them. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
So they've got the level of security on it. But the amount of people that just pull over for them, like I think it's very common. But I don't think it happens a lot here. Like I don't see many people hitchhiking.
Because you can walk this country. Like it's small. Like it's really there's the Hulk TV series, in the late 70s, early 80s. There's he hitchhikes. You see that's often the end of the episode. He's hitchhiking again. Banner's hitchhiking again, and that's because it was a thing that was done. It was a socially acceptable thing, and it's just. I'm sure people still hitchhike. Sometimes you get into terrible situations. Like you get dropped 2 hours outside of the musical festival that you paid the bus for, but the coach for, but it's not so common now.
Well, I guess in somewhere like India, where you've got vast distances, and there is one road, then it's far more common.
Yeah,
and that would be people be going, oh well, you're going this way, we'll go this way. Like people will be open to it.
Yeah, like in some cases, and it depends on the type of cities. Well, some small towns, small cities, it's almost like everyone almost knows each other, and it's like, oh yeah, I know I can trust this person.
Yeah,
I'm happy to get on this. So it tends to be that. But like in some of the bigger cities where it's so big that you sort of have to get it, it's not that safe because some are like interstate transports, and they're just like going through the country, and they're like trying to make money by dropping people off while going, and that may not necessarily be like a safe option to do. But in places where they just go and come back, that's pretty. It happens.
Yeah, there's a level of trust there, a level of safety.
Yeah,
that,
and now there's a lot more industry, and there's like you've got your phones with you, so you can figure out how to get around without. I don't know if it happens that much, but maybe in like smaller towns, probably rural villages.
You can watch a YouTube video while they put you into a cellar with no windows.
Yeah.
Oh, at least I'm entertained.
Yeah,
it's nice. So the vanishing hitchhiker phenomenon. The vanishing hitchhiker is one of the most persistent and haunting legends in modern folklore. The story revolves around a driver who picks up a hitchhiker, often a young woman, who mysteriously disappears from the vehicle, only for the driver to discover later that the passenger had died years earlier. Though this tale has been told in countless variations, what makes it particularly compelling is its grounding in real-world claims and reported encounters. The phenomenon reflects deep social and psychological anxieties about modern travel, morality, and the boundaries between the living and the dead. What I find, the thing with this, and you'll know a lot more about this, but the idea that like if you pick up a hitchhiker who's a ghost or dead, surely you'd know, or like you just wouldn't stop for that.
Well, the ghosts are many different forms. Okay. Like our idea of the see-through ghost, in the white shawl, that's actually from Victorian theatre. Okay. Like that ghosts were people like in Greek mythology, they were the Manes or the Fae, which has nothing to do with fairies, and it was the person as they were still alive, and then they would just disappear, or you knew they were dead but you're still talking to them.
So we're probably not real, Phil.
Right, good point. And to be honest, I've had my doubts if you walk to the room.
Well,
do you remember how we got in? No,
I don't remember how we got here. So it's, and also like there's the whole ghosts aren't necessarily the spirits of the dead. They could be your own psychic sensibilities. There's a thing called psychometry, sorry, and it's where you're able to read the history of something. So if I was like, you've got a mug there, and if you were to hold that mug, you would know the history of everybody that had touched it. And there's some people that are really, really good. It's also been studied by the CIA.
Wait, is that science? Like
it's pseudoscience, but like
I actually do have the history of this mug because all of our episodes are on YouTube, so I can just watch.
But when you're not around,
that's true.
But psychometry, like you read the stories, and it's you're reading the environment when you meet that person. But then when you drive, they're gone because they're no longer in that environment.
Yeah.
Would you?
So would you pick up a hitchhiker?
Probably. I'd say no, mostly just to avoid the conversation. Like just the social
Fairness, you don't even
awkwardness.
want to get in a car with a comedian, so fair enough.
The social awkwardness. Oh man, I need to talk to this person for a while. That's the only reason I wouldn't. But I don't know. I think I tend to lean towards just being safe. And it's like, I don't know what this person might, like, I feel like my brain goes into overdrive. Like, why is this person hitchhiking? This feels like a planned setup the moment I stop my car. I'm going to get mugged or something.
I don't think that's a bad sensibility. You know, like people
but
are bad.
At the same time, I'd have this guilt, like, oh man, what if that person gets killed by some random strangers, you know?
Yeah.
Well,
Well, it's working for you so far because you're not dead.
Yeah.
Or is he? Although tales of spectral travellers predate the automobile, the modern vanishing hitchhiker legend gained prominence alongside the rise of the car culture in the 1920s and 1930s. Early accounts collected by folklorists such as Richard Beardsley and Rosalie Hankley in their 1942 article, A History of the Vanishing Hitchhiker, document stories across the United States in which motorists pick up ghostly passengers who vanish suddenly, leaving behind a clue to their spectral identity, often a forgotten item, an address, or a cemetery location. A lot of these stories do seem to come from the States. That is fair. Yeah.
But there's a hitchhiking culture.
Yeah.
There is a hitchhiking culture, yeah.
You know,
I
like-
guess
like-
because of the vastness. And
Yeah, like Claudette Colbert and Clark Gable. You know, he tries to hitch a ride. I don't know if you're familiar with it. Tries to hitch a ride. It happened one night. He tries to hitch a ride. No one stops. So Claudette goes along and pulls up her skirt, and the car stops. It's a you know. So
that's
that like
how I do it.
yeah. Well, you have great legs. Yeah.
I did go through Death Valley once, like a drive. And
Oh,
it's
wow, really?
like, and it's just so empty for such a long time. And it's, someone had like a car breakdown or something, and it's like, you don't have cell phone signal and you're just there. You just have to wait for the next car to come along. And it's just insane, like, especially if it's at night. I can't imagine what that place is like. And I drove through like midday. It was quite hot, but it was just in vast emptiness. And I was like, man. But the roads are nice. It's like you just keep going. But yeah, like in such a place, if someone had to stop and hitchhike at night, it's just
Yeah, I can imagine.
Imagine that with a car full of comedians.
oh god, yes. I'd rather disappear.
Why is everyone dead? No.
So there's lots of supposed real life cases. One of the earliest ones, the most famous ones, was from Chicago in the 1930s. Drivers reported encounters with a young woman near Resurrection Cemetery in Justice, Illinois. What a name for a cemetery. Known as Resurrection Mary. She was said to be a blonde woman in a white party dress who would ask for a ride along Archer Avenue, only to vanish near the cemetery gates. Reports of sightings became so frequent that local newspapers covered them through the 30s and 40s. To this day, drivers claim to see her apparition near the cemetery, making Resurrection Mary one of America's best documented vanishing hitchhiker figures.
This might be was that episode 2 of Supernatural? Have you seen the TV show Supernatural? I don't know if it's like there's a similar. I don't know if it's the same detail.
Yeah,
Imagine
they
it could be all
they
based-
echo, they do it, but it's their version of it. Like
Yeah.
I think this story, a lot has been based on that in fiction as well. I'm saying that like this isn't fiction. You're aware of this story, I'm guessing.
Yeah, Resurrection Mary. Yeah,
Okay.
Proud Mary. You know the song
Yeah.
Proud Mary, which is about a steamboat or a gambling boat.
Yep.
There's a version of it called Resurrection Mary. Whether it was done for Halloween or something, I don't know. But there's the Resurrection Mary.
Okay. Do you
Okay,
believe in Resurrection Mary?
Well, it's definitely a well documented story. Whether I believe or not, I don't know. I mean, I've had weird things happen, people disappear and whatever. But like, I could have just been
What
tired.
do you mean? I've had weird things happen. People disappear.
You grew up in Northern Ireland.
I grew up in Northern Ireland.
Okay, that's just Britain.
Yeah, just right.
Yeah.
You know, but like the like you know you say you were talking to someone. I was at a party one time, and I was talking to someone and no one else knew who they were in the room. Like when I mentioned them, but I was talking to them for like 2 hours.
Oh, wow.
Now it could be just someone came into the party and like I just happened to be the only person they spoke to.
Okay.
But I didn't really know these people, and so it was odd and.
Unless they all got together and said, let's fuck with David. And you would like, I was talking to Claire for hours. And like, Claire died in this apartment years ago.
That's something like people in this country would do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
absolutely.
definitely.
And I would find it very funny.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I have a very basic sense of humor when it comes to that stuff. So do you want to know some other encounters? So the Union Dale ghost, this is in South Africa. So these are, like I said, it was in the US, but there's some other stories. So in Union Dale, South Africa, a young woman named Marie Charlotte Rokes was killed in a car crash on Easter Sunday in 1968. Since then, motorists on the N9 highway have reported picking up a female hitchhiker matching her description. The ghost reportedly sits silently before disappearing when the driver looks away or reaches her former accident site. Local newspapers documented these sightings in the 1970s, and the story has since become a staple of South African folklore.
That's not bad. At least she's by keeping quiet, not having a conversation. Because
She's your kind of hitchhiker.
yeah, like I wouldn't mind.
You'd
that.
pick her up.
Yeah, as long as we sit quietly. Yeah.
I mean, this is sort of an event. I'd give her a ride because that's came out the wrong way. I'd give her a lift because she's not going to kill you. She just wants a lift.
She just likes to relive.
She likes to relive.
It is Easter, to be fair.
Yeah,
and
it's true. Yeah. It's just Groundhog Day for her. Just going round and round.
But it might be.
What's interesting about this, and we said this on the podcast before, is that this was in an era where if you relayed a story like that, there's no noticeable gain for you in a sense. Do you know what I mean? Like you're not going to become internet famous or particularly famous just by regaling the story. And also you probably at that time going to look a little bit crazy if you did say it. So the fact that people were saying that usually suggests they genuinely do believe it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't think it's like an era thing. I feel like even today people would say it not to gain like virality on the internet or anything, but I feel like people genuinely believe some of the things, and I don't think they mean to get anything out of it. So I don't think it's something has changed over time. As maybe like the story may have evolved a lot over time, but I think it's always been that way. Like even today, I feel like I meet people and it's like they think this, and it's like they'll hold on to that with conviction. So
yeah. And then, and I agree with that. And then this story just grows and grows in your head and becomes more.
Yeah.
You convince yourself of it.
It becomes the elaboration.
Yeah.
I've said this before. I'm quite dismissive of the idea that things. Oh, you didn't remember that correctly. And I'm not saying there can't be problems or
but none of us
tricks with the
remember
memory.
most things correctly.
I do, Phil.
Okay, you do.
But it just. I think it can be very dismissive. But like. I mean, what's the simplest explanation for things, but if you've never had an auditory hallucination or a visual hallucination and you're having this experience, there's either one or two things that happened, and what happened is debatable. Like, did you take some acid or something? Do you know what I mean? Or did you bang your head and it's just that moment, or you met a ghost, and dismissing people, I always think I'm not a fan of that. I'm not a fan of subjective truth either. So, like, did it happen or didn't it? And if people are saying it, why would you say it? Who profits? Always figure that out. I mean, I would love to hitchhike. I'd love to give a ride to a ghostly hitchhiker. I'd love that. Except
Not
I
if
can't
you were
drive.
going to die, you wouldn't.
We're all going to die, Phil. Eventually.
I mean, it's time. Like after a certain point, you're like, you know what? I'll just go.
I'll take the risk.
Yeah. Like I'm tired now. The only thing that's keeping me.
Well, you got to
going-
get the megabus back from Nottingham. So there's a fair chance you won't survive that.
National coach.
National coach, sorry.
Oh, the National Express
National
coach are
Express,
better if it's a nice one.
Yeah, I think it's a nice one.
With seatbelts and everything. But sometimes you can get on an older National
Yeah.
Express like this is horrible.
Yeah.
I got a National Express. Last time I got the National Express up to Edinburgh, it was gorgeous. I didn't want to get off it. Like the seat reclined and there was space. And
It was better than a train journey back this year. Don't get me started.
Okay.
I shouldn't have mentioned it, to be honest.
No.
There's a more close to home one. This actually, this is the A3 ghost. It's such a British name for a ghost. It's wonderful. So in Surrey, England, drivers on the A3 near Burpham have reported seeing a ghostly hitchhiker since the 1960s. One particularly eerie incident occurred in 2002 when police were called to investigate reports of a car accident after witnesses saw a man climb out of a crashed vehicle and vanish into the woods. When officers searched the area, they discovered not a recent crash, but a wrecked car buried under brush with skeletal remains dating back 5 months. The case eerily mirrored the vanishing hitchhiker motif and reignited local interest in road ghosts.
Yeah, but road ghosts are a thing because the roads are transitional. You're traveling on them, so where do you go to make the deal with the devil? You go to the crossroads, and roads are because you don't live in a road, you travel through a road. So this idea that you would meet a passenger, meet a traveler, is very, very common. And what's the ultimate travel from life to death?
Yeah,
and it's interesting that you're saying about the A3 ghost. I mean, I'm from Northern Ireland, and I grew up during the Troubles, and terrible things happened, and but bodies were found because someone saw a ghost of the person. Like that. I kind of grew up with this a little bit. Yeah, weird things. Now maybe that's just society's way of dealing with the horrors of what was going on and the injustice of what was going on. Going, hey, I saw a ghost, and there's something kind of restorative about it. But I don't have a hitchhiker story to tell about that. It's just like
get on the A3.
Get on the A3. But that can't be the only British one. Like it's
not the only British one. Actually, no. We've got another British one as well. But it's one of the most recent and most famous ones. Yeah. Because multiple people saw this or believe they saw this, and yet they couldn't have seen exactly what they describe. That's the bizarre thing. And all these accounts were all made at the same time, so it's not like they were influencing each other because it's separate drivers, separate cars, reporting the incident separately from each other, so no idea what everyone else has reported. Yeah. That's the weird thing about it. I do like the idea of a road ghost, though. I like the idea of what sort of ghost you are. Me. You're always on the roads. I'm a road ghost, me. I just keep on moving.
Classic fuck boy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think you'd be a road ghost. You don't want people. So there is. Sorry, I've just knocked the dolls. So the Ballet Drive ghost. This is Manila, Philippines. In the Philippines, the vanishing hitchhiker takes the form of a white lady of Ballet Drive, a long-haired woman in a white gown, said to appear on a busy road in I think it's Quezon city. Motorists, especially taxi drivers, claim to see her in their back seat through the rear-view mirror before she disappears. This legend, which gained national attention in the 1950s, may stem from real-life accidents involving young women along the same road. The white lady's enduring fame has made Ballet Drive a recognized haunted street in Filipino culture.
Is that white doesn't racially white? Or like, because I say that because I recently saw a video. It's incredibly funny. Like in Southeast Asia, I don't know if it was the same place. Mm-hmm. So basically, some kids are taught white people are going to come and eat you. And there's this white girl, she sort of goes into this, and the kids are losing their shit. They're so scared.
Really?
Freaking out. It's incredibly, it's on Instagram.
And this is modern.
Well, like it's on Instagram, like, and it's hilarious, like, but those kids are like scarred. They're like running for their lives. They're so scared. Like they're in school and they see this white girl walking, and it's because they were taught that something. And so that's why I was curious if it's maybe related.
It could be. Yeah, I mean,
is it like a racial?
I don't think it is.
A lady
no, it is a lady in a white gown. I mean, the white lady of Ballet Drive, I think, is just a lady in a white gown. It doesn't say whether she is racially white or not. But that's interesting. I'll be honest with you. I've been to the Philippines and I did not eat any kids.
Okay,
so you just weren't interested in the culture?
No, like a couple of bites.
I mean, that's what someone
would say.
Yeah,
you're right. Yeah, it doesn't mean they would taste it. It's like I'm not going to eat any kids.
Well, surely the secret to happiness is finding someone that will eat you right. Sorry, that was disgusting. I do apologize.
But again, this one is the repetition of it, as in the story, as in a lot of people seeing the same thing. That's the consistent thing about a lot of these stories is exactly that. It's the people describing the same or very similar thing. Sometimes you could say that was influenced, but in other situations, you can't quite see how they would influence each other. That's the bizarre thing.
It's the repeating of it.
Yeah.
So that tends to be the haunting.
Yeah.
You know, like so the layman's terms, the difference between a haunting and different activities like poltergeist activity. Poltergeist activity is continual and changing, whereas hauntings are a repeat of something. So, but they do cross over, obviously. So, like
Can you be both?
yes. So, like I mean, I can think of movie examples. So it's poltergeist activity, and there's a movie called The Changeling, which is just a great horror movie. I love it so much. And it's really creepy, and it's a real slow burn. So no, there's maybe a jump scare. The scariest thing about it is there's a bouncing ball comes down a flight of stairs, and it's fucking terrifying. Anyway, it's a great movie, but they hold a seance and they communicate with someone, and then you find out that's not who they think it is, and that it's a really great film. It's about grief. It's really what it's about, and about moving on from grief and how painful that is. But it's very, very beautiful. But there's poltergeist activity, this ball bouncing down the stairs, and then there's the haunting where same things play over again, so people see illusions. So, but it's all spooky woo woo.
So Bruce Willis in The Sixth Sense, what's he? What's that?
So that's a different situation.
Okay.
Because I please, if you haven't watched The Sixth Sense, don't spoilers. And I know that's ridiculous.
We're spoiling that for anyone.
But it's such a great film. But the boy in it it's his power.
Okay.
And also, even if you know the twist in The Sixth Sense, it's not for that. Bruce Willis gives one of the best performances of his career.
Yeah.
Toni Collette, we got introduced to her in that film, and she's amazing. How has she not got an Oscar? Like 5 of them. Sorry, I feel very strongly about that. And also, it's the scene in the car.
Yes,
where
scene in the car's great.
Where you know, it's just I'm going to cry because I love that scene so much. Anyway. I'm a M. Night Shyamalan apologist. I quite like him.
Apologist.
Yeah. Sixth Sense is a great film. Signs is a fantastic film. It's one of my all-time favorite films. The Village. People don't like The Village. It is the most romantic movie.
Josh, are you a fan of horror films?
No, not really. No, it's like the weird thing is like I watched Supernatural, the TV show.
Oh yeah.
But it's got like a
Jansen Ackles.
monster of the week. But then
It's a good show.
arc of the show sort of you get used to it and like, okay, I can deal with this. I think it's not so much that I don't like horror films. It's just that I've got a fucking wild imagination. Like, so when I'm at home, like I overthink and like I'll take the whole setup as something's like a weird sound that happens, and it's like, okay, my imagination will run wild.
Oh, yeah.
When I go into the loo, switch on the lights and the mirrors are there, something's going to pop up now, So
Do you live with other people?
No, I live by myself.
Okay, right,
so it's like, but this was as a kid as well. And it's like you just using the toilet in the middle of the night and everyone's asleep.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I don't want to go. I'm just going to hold it in, things like that.
Yeah.
It's mostly because how wild my imagination can run, and all of these movies are like little catalysts. Like they'll give you that spark for that. So that's one of the reasons I probably didn't watch stuff like horror movies. So it's,
Weirdly, I'm in the same situation, but that's why I watch horror movies.
Yeah.
So like I'm burning myself out with it.
Yeah,
I love a horror movie, but it's one of my favorite things. But it's because like when I was a very young kid, I saw things, and it was night terrors. I had night terrors.
Oh man, okay.
Yeah, and had to go and see a child psychologist and stuff.
That's crazy.
But yeah, like I would see things and I would hear things.
Okay.
And like I like there was someone would whisper in my wall and stuff. It was awful. It was awful, and I would try.
So you were that Sixth Sense kid?
Yeah, but it never produced anything. The worst it ever was, there's a TV show called The Triffids, and it's based on the sci-fi book, and it was 1982, 1983. I think I saw a repeat of it. I was a bit older when I saw. It was a bit later in the 80s when I saw it, and it terrified me. And the next day I was and I had a terrible night. I was screaming. My grandmother had to come around to make sure I was okay. Like I went into hysterics after seeing an episode of the show. I think I'd seen. Well, I now know I'd seen the whole series, and this was the last episode that it sent me on, and really sent me off because like I'm talking about it now, and I can feel the terror of it. And that was when I was maybe 7, and I was in class the next day, and a Triffids, this big walking tree thing that's poisonous, it kills you, and I saw a Triffid move into the room, like in my mind's eye, and I remember feeling it's fucking here, and I went, it's not, I know it's not, and I remember just wishing it away. And that was the last time anything really vastly visual happened to me. But so years later, I decided to get the DVD box set. This was only about 4 years ago, of the Triffids, to watch it again. And I put in the first DVD because my computer still had a DVD player. I put in the first DVD and I watched the first episode, and I could hear my heart pounding. And this is and I watched the whole thing, and I can feel it now. I got this terror, and it's this silly. It's actually a really good show. It's really, like, some terrible things happen. It's really well written. It takes what is a very silly book and actually makes it quite good. But the last episode, the Triffids surround a house and they're all in the windows, and that's what set me off as a kid. And I can feel this right now. Oh my God, I'm my late 30s, and I am like, and I, building things up, and I watched it again. I was like, and I haven't watched it since because I'm still, it's the little boy.
But that's the reaction the little boy used,
Yeah.
rather than this is actually scary, because I've seen that in recent years and it is funny.
Yeah, like it is like, but it's the little kid in me,
Yeah.
and it's so interesting that you were saying about, like, I'm not going to get up and go to the bathroom because there's something, and then your brain starts playing, and you try not to have those conversations. Like, I think
that's what. So when you're talking about watching Supernatural, do you think that that's actually where the root of it is? Something in those tales that when you were a kid, that's like the childhood,
or like
fear, putting childhood fear.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, and it's just I think I've seen some horror movies as a kid, and you're like, oh, this is, the thing is, like my family is also Christian, like we grew up Christian, and you sort of believe in the idea of, like, good spirits. If you are acknowledging good, you have to acknowledge there is an evil, right? So I think that gets to you because you genuinely believe in these things. You have to genuinely believe these things exist as well. So it's there with conviction in your brain, right? And it's like, so you're gonna, and I'm like, what's gonna happen? Like, like, it's like in your story as well, like, as not to discount these things that you went through.
I'm happy to discount.
It's pretty scary to be the other person in the room, like, kids screaming.
Yeah. That's true.
I don't know if you had siblings around us, but like you said, your grandmothers. See, like, imagine a child screaming in the middle of the night and just losing the shit. Just like, oh man. And like the other person who's like, oh, everything I can read this sensibly, like I can figure out logic to this. And you see this child losing the shit, like, oh man, this is breaking all of my reality as well.
I think it's freaky, the idea of you screaming in a classroom.
I didn't scream in the classroom.
Okay.
That was the point I pulled it together.
Okay.
So it's like, I know it's not.
So what did I mean, I don't mean to make you read
Oh, no,
it.
this
It's
is fine. This is fine. I brought it up.
No, I'd like to.
How did the psychologist help? Like, was there a bit of?
The psychologist was actually during this time. It wasn't brought on by seeing the Triffids, but it was just because I have a massive imagination, and I didn't play with other kids. I played on my own, and that really did stay with me until I was a teenager. Like I was very in my own world.
It's weird he ended up being a comedian.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
Oh my gosh! When I started doing comedy, I thought, oh, I'm such a unique flower, and then I realized basically everyone that does comedy is as fucked up. Like we're
Josh is literally going and said, I don't want to get in a car with other people. I don't want to travel on my own. I live on my own. I don't want to do it.
I have an overactive imagination and I see things I shouldn't see. Like, yeah, we all fall into that, You don't do comedy if you're healthy is really what I'm saying.
So do you want another British ghost?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Of course you are, proud. So the Blue Bell Hill Bride. This is in Kent. So another chilling case comes from the Blue Bell Hill near Maidstone in Kent. In 1965, a young bride named Suzanne Brown died in a car crash on her wedding day. Since then, drivers have repeatedly reported a woman in white attempting to flag down cars or stepping into the road, only to vanish on impact. Police investigations have followed several calls from shaken motorists, yet no trace of the woman has ever been found. She's been at it a long time, hasn't she?
Where was this again?
This is in Kent.
Kent. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that seems very
Kent.
Like,
Well, I mean, the woman I presume actually existed, like it really.
Yeah, no,
happened.
the thing actually happened. The event is real. It's just the fact that she's in the middle of the road. I don't actually know whether people. I'm guessing people did swerve to avoid her.
Yeah.
Because no one's going to go, well, that must be a ghost. So therefore, maybe they did dribble straight through her. But on impact, they're saying that she vanishes, which I guess
which is
how
most
facts
work.
Exactly.
That would be the case.
The police say, "Oh no, you did run over somebody. That's them. They're in the morgue."
You know, but it, like the people reporting it, I think that's always very interesting, because that's the sort of what I sort of take as the, you know, disappearing hitchhikers. It's people report this happened, this, you know, someone disappeared. It's not a, here's my cool story about the ghost that I saw. It's what happened here, you know.
Yeah.
You know, maybe someone's, because people are mental as well.
Yeah.
You know, you could be in a psychological break.
Yeah.
You know?
You could, but I guess the when there is a repetition of a number of people reporting the same thing or very similar thing, you're right. One person could just be crazy, but the idea that multiple people report the same thing, you wouldn't, statistically, that seems unlikely unless there's something there.
Yeah.
I feel like I just realized there's one song in my. I was trying to take out my phone to look it up, but then it just came to my head. This song called "The Way" by Fastball.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know the Fastball? Like,
I don't think so.
They've got like just one good song. It's like, I think someone remixed it recently as well. Was it Pitbull who remixed? Anyway, they got a song called "The Way," and it's more like a positive spin on one of similar stories where they're basically this couple who go out on a drive and their car disappear. The speculation is like either they crashed out of a hill and they couldn't find the whatever, but the song is like, oh, we're just out there, we're on a road like where we'll never grow tired, it's always nice and warm, a nice summer day. And it's like such a beautiful thing. I didn't realize until I read the story. I think Spotify sometimes show you the background of the song, and I'm like, hey man, I didn't need to know that. But at the same time, it's like a nice little positive spin, like, oh, these two people have just disappeared out of my life. And it's not even like related to the band. They just picked a story for someone else. And they wrote that song. So I'm wondering, like, some of these things can also be like a way to not let go of this whole thing that you've had.
Yeah.
Or that's what is going to keep it real. But if people let go, I feel like even that story sort of goes right in at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So, or I could just be wrong. There's an actual ghost.
Yeah, it's one or the other.
Yeah.
I mean, we all have different ways of dealing with grief,
That's true. Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
And
I mean, there's lots of variations on this legend. So the story's basic framework remains remarkably stable, but its details vary across religions and cultures. In the US, one of the most popular versions features a driver pick up a young woman dressed in white who's to be taken home. And then upon arrival, she vanishes and the driver discovers that the address leads to a family who reveals that their daughter died years earlier. So I know we were joking about earlier, but that's common. Internationally, the legend adapts to local cultural context. In Britain, the hitchhiker often takes the form of a soldier killed in wartime, reflecting the nation's collective trauma from the world wars. In Latin America, the La Llorona,
oh, the crying lady.
yeah, motif sometimes merges with the vanishing hitchhiker narrative, with a ghostly figure lamenting her lost children. So I think that's the one. In South Africa, the ghost of Union Dale's ghost, the one we talked about, a young woman who appears on the anniversary of her death, has become part of national folklore. Despite these variations, the narrative structure remains consistent. A seemingly mundane encounter becomes a confrontation with the supernatural, blurring the line between life and death, past and present. It is interesting how that there is that repetition across cultures, though. You know, especially back then, or decades ago, in a time where we were less connected, I suppose.
Yeah. The stories, like there's dragons in every culture.
Yeah.
All these things that the traveler that disappears, or the person that you meet briefly. You were talking about the songs, like "The Way," because I know that song. I couldn't tell you it's by, because it's not by Madonna. Anyway, but there was a song when I was growing up called "Camouflage." Do you know this song? It's sort of basically the tune of "Rawhide."
Okay.
And it's about this Vietnam soldier, and he meets up with another soldier who saves his life called Camouflage, and Camouflage is a ghost. He died in the previous battle.
Does he know that he's a ghost?
No, that's the big punch at the end of the song. Whoa, 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 Camouflage.
Who sang this?
It was a one-hit wonder in the 80s. But because we're coming up to Christmas, there's all these, or not Christmas, coming up to Halloween.
Yeah.
I got that wrong. There's all these little songs that are kind of spooky, like Britney Spears' Scary, Madonna's Supernatural, Thriller, obviously, like Laura Branigan, Self-Control. All these songs are kind of spooky, and Camouflage is one of them because it's about a ghost. But also Monster Mash is one of them because,
Monster Mash is great.
It was a smash.
You know that one?
No.
Check it out.
We're going to play this before you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Although it'll massively skew your Spotify suggestions.
After The Way. By
After
Fast
the way.
Forward.
That's quite the mix, actually. Those two are quite the mix.
To be fair, that's how my library is.
So the psychological, sociological interpretations, the reoccurrence of these stories across cultures suggests they fulfill universal psychological and social needs. From a psychological standpoint, the ghostly hitchhiker can represent unresolved grief or guilt, perhaps the collective processing of road deaths, which increased dramatically with the advent of mass car travel. It would be interesting to know how many of these people that report these things have recently lost someone or are holding on to some kind of grief or trauma. Do you know what I mean? I guess that's not going to get asked in the police interview, but...
You lost someone recently?
Yeah.
Then I feel like that witness would start doubting, and it would, it would throw the account.
Oh, completely, yeah. And it'd be an insane thing for them to ask as well.
And I'm pretty sure people have done that. Like, cops would be like, oh, you're off your tits.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, exactly that. So cultural and technological context, the Vanishing Hitchhiker legend evolved alongside changing technology and media. In the 50s and 60s, reports spread through newspapers and radio. By the 20th century, television documentaries and paranormal programs such as Unsolved Mysteries brought these tales to mainstream audiences. Do you remember that? Unsolved Mysteries? Have you ever watched that?
I feel like I've seen...
You probably
promos
saw it on
yeah.
YouTube. Like, it's always one of those things that's suggested, especially this time of year.
Yeah. It was quite a big thing, I think. And there weren't many shows like that, I don't think. No. There's loads on YouTube now. We're one of them. In the digital era, new variations have appeared involving ride-share apps and GPS anomalies. For example, accounts of passengers booking rides on Uber or Lyft who vanish mid-route, or navigation systems leading drivers to phantom destinations.
That's just probably shit engineering.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's a bug somewhere who didn't test it. It's like, yeah.
Or someone, or the software engineer having a laugh. Just going to put these locations, they're not really there. But someone died there. So the Vanishing Hitchhiker continues to resonate because it blends ordinary experience with existential mystery. Its recurring themes include death and remembrance. The ghost embodies memory and persistence of grief. Technology and alienation. The car, a symbol of progress, becomes a vessel for isolation and uncanny encounters. And morality and compassion. The act of offering a ride becomes a moral test in a world where kindness is both noble and perilous. It's interesting, that, isn't it? That last one.
Yeah.
Because it is a kind act, isn't it, to pick up a complete stranger from the side of a road?
You've done something good.
You have.
And there's other options, like the companion that suddenly appears to help you through a rough time. Mm-hmm. Like you're stuck on a mountainside and you can't get down, and then suddenly someone comes, oh, do this, come walk with me, or the third man. There's all these ideas of someone with you.
Yeah. I feel like those are stories I've heard in church. Like it's more like, oh,
like
that's
the
God.
angel. Like, I know exactly what you're talking about as well.
Yeah.
Because brought up religious as well.
In Forrest Gump, does he see the ghost of Lieutenant Dan? Does that happen?
Spoiler alert, by the way.
Another spoiler alert. I can't remember.
It's been ages since I watched Forrest
Yeah,
Gump.
I can't remember. Something like that. That said, I might be thinking of Happy Gilmore.
Yeah, that was like...
Where he definitely sees the ghost of Chubbs.
Happy Gilmore and Forrest Gump, they are weirdly...
They're kind of...
kind of the same
kind of
film.
Similar, yeah.
Which is weird, like when we talk about Sixth Sense, when I watched it the second time, I actually forgot what the plot twist was, and it's so nice to relive. This is what.
Yeah.
And it's in a way, it's probably good that you're forgetting the details. Don't stress too much to get the detail. Just watch the movie again. You'll enjoy it a bit more.
I watched it in the cinema twice when it came out, and the second time I went, obviously, like, you know this, but you know that there's a real jump scare where it's like a corridor, and I think a ghost just crosses. That's all it is. Just a ghost going from room to room across the corridor. That's it. And the first time you see it, you jump out of your skin. It's one of the big jump scares in the film. But when you know it's coming, it's more interesting just to watch the audience. When you know that they've not seen it before, and just to watch an entire cinema of people jump is fucking hilarious.
Yeah, I love going to see a horror movie I know well, and people are there that haven't seen it.
Yeah,
I love going to see a horror movie with friends that haven't seen movies. Like I'm one of those sad people who watch the same movie over and over again. I'm going to go and see Alien and Aliens on Tuesday. I know those movies word for word. Like,
yeah, it's pretty much your life.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. I'm a bad individual.
Yeah. I've only seen a horror movie as a date, and it's like
You went to a horror movie for a date?
Oh, it's recommended.
yeah, no, it's like one of those Friday the 13th sort of things. Like, oh, let's do this because it's like,
got it.
And you see one of those cult classics, and it's like, oh, this is nice. Like, it's like they just end up looking to you for protection. Like,
Yes,
Yeah.
right.
Yes, this is nice work.
Well,
Horror-
then someone that doesn't like horror movies like you.
yeah, and I'm like, no, I'm just focusing on I'm paying attention to the woman.
Yeah. What a hero. So the Vanishing Hitchhiker legend stands as one of the most enduring and flexible narratives in global folklore, rooted in real-life reports from Resurrection Mary in Chicago to the Uniondale Ghost in South Africa. It serves as both a cautionary tale and cultural mirror. Its persistence across decades and continents reveals how deeply it resonates with human concerns about death, mobility, and the supernatural. In a world where technology continues to redefine human connection and movement, the Vanishing Hitchhiker remains a spectral reminder that not all journeys end where they begin, and that sometimes the ghosts we encounter on the road are reflections of our own unease with the pace and consequences of modern life. So, Joshua, is the Vanishing Hitchhiker phenomenon real?
Yeah, I'd say so. There's enough evidence, not evidence, I'd say enough stories where one of them have to be true.
Yeah.
You know, when there's so many people saying these things, there should be some truth to it. Like nobody, think of the first person who ever came up with it, and like, this is not such a great idea.
Yeah.
If you think about it, it's not that imaginative, or someone on the road just disappeared.
Yeah.
And it's like, that happens a lot.
That does happen a lot, yeah.
But the fact that it happens in so many different places and so many I think there is a lot of credibility to most conspiracy theories.
I agree.
As you can't like completely discount them and just rule it off. There, even if a lot of things science will explain, there'll be this one part which people can't really explain, and it's like, there is something to it.
Yeah.
You know? So I'd like to, or even if there isn't, I'd like to imagine there is. You know, that's what adds the magic to the whole thing.
Yeah. Great. David?
Yes, it's so well documented. If you're asking me, do I believe in ghosts? I don't know, because I think there may be other reasons why we see things.
But you believe in this phenomenon?
I believe in this phenomenon because I think it's very well documented.
Yeah. I believe that like maybe something like the ghost just chilling in the car and not talking. Yeah. Not because
it's your kind of ghost.
It's my preferred type. But like this idea that ghosts just want to kill you is not. I think that's very made from movies.
Yeah,
sort of thing, right? But I feel like they probably exist, but they don't have the intention of like killing you or something. So
they just want a lift.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, who of us don't love a car journey with a playlist and more candy and sweeties than we can possibly eat?
And a ghost.
And a ghost.
Yeah.
Like, that would be an all right afterlife.
Yeah.
Going back and forth.
What a Saturday afternoon.
What a Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, I'm with you guys. I think it's there's a lot of accounts here, so I think the phenomenon itself exists. I'm not a believer in ghosts, but I think the phenomenon exists, and I think most of the people who are reporting these stories, I think genuinely do believe they've seen something. Yeah, fair enough. Joshua, would you like to look into this camera? Tell people where they can find you and where they can follow you.
My Instagram is where most of the information is. Joshua Bethania _comedy. Not Joshua Bethania. That's like a private profile for close friends. Not to say we can't be close friends. But it's on my Linktree. I just keep publishing as and when. I try to do like once a month a full show, and I do spots all around, which is usually on my stories. I've got a Linktree with all the information and a YouTube channel with my content.
Cool.
It's just stand up. Yeah.
We will put those links in the notes for this episode, so check it out. By the way, I'm going to go for a drive down the A3 after this episode if anyone wants to come.
Is it on the way to Nottingham?
Sadly not, man. Completely the wrong direction. Would you like a hitchhiker joke to end the podcast?
Yeah.
Okay. What do you say to a one-legged hitchhiker? Hop in. See, you liked that. You can have the one for Nottingham, actually.
Yeah,
that'll smash. That's the end of the podcast. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Please give us a little 5-star rating wherever you get your podcasts. And if you'd like to help support us further, why not check out patreon.com/BelievePod for exclusive episodes, early access, and ad-free listening. Remember, we love you.